Okay, so let's kick off with that. Bradley Beal got traded yesterday to the Phoenix Suns in a blockbuster. I don't even know if blockbuster is the movie. It's blockbuster because he's in it, but like it's not
Yeah.
nothing grand. Bradley Beal goes to the Phoenix Suns for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, multiple second round picks, and a 2024 and a 2026 first round pick swap. Now, the Washington Wizards did not get any unprotected picks, first round picks at least, from this deal. Reason being, if you're trading them to the Phoenix Suns do not own their first round pick, and they cannot trade any of their first round picks. That's why they had to do pick swaps in the year 2024 and 2026. Do you want to start, Warren, or do you want me to start? Because I
You can go ahead
said,
and start. Go ahead.
all right, this is potentially perfect TikTok material. So I guess this isn't getting edited. I mean, Warren, that's a good cameo. That's a cheap
I
cameo.
mean,
Shout out to Warner Sanker.
anytime you get Warner's time, like it's rare, so you gotta enjoy and cherish it. Even if he's talking trash to us, you gotta enjoy and cherish it because we don't get to see him very often.
Yeah, we have to book out Warner's time for 8 months in advance. The next time we're gonna be able to get together is gonna be in April of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might prank us on April 1st.
Be like, gotcha.
Yeah.
Who's the dumbass now? All right, anyway. Let's so the Phoenix Suns, this trade is very interesting. And I do have trade grades, if you will, for this Warner just texted us. He says it's probably gonna be like 3 years from now, says April Fools.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. I didn't like the trade at first. I still don't like it. I'm very like indifferent on the trade, where I think I'll start with the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards made a mistake, a massive mistake, just in terms of asset management. Like, bro, they should have traded Bradley Beal 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Like, so not only should
before the contract extension, they should have traded him.
No, literally. So not only should you have been traded him, then when you did extend him, which I'm like, okay. Then when you did extend him, you gave him one of the biggest contracts in NBA history, and you gave him a no trade clause. Like,
Ew.
How many players in the NBA over the past decade can you say are worth that? LeBron, Steph,
KD,
Giannis, maybe? That's it.
Giannis,
Jokic. I'll give you that.
Jokic.
5 players in the past decade have been like truly, truly worth a no trade clause. Come on, dude. Bradley Beal is not worth that. Like, it's just you're shooting yourself in the foot. So now when a trade possibility does come up, you already limit your options in terms of what you can do in a Bradley Beal trade. And there were only 4 options. There was the Sacramento Kings that got rumored. The Milwaukee, I think we might have talked about the Kings in a maybe deleted video now. The Sacramento Kings, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, and the Phoenix Suns. I'll touch on the Heat later when we get to another topic. But like, you don't have options now. And when you are dealing with 4 teams that are, if not over the cap already, but damn close, there's not much you can do, right? So you traded him to the Phoenix Suns for nothing, essentially. You didn't get any picks, really. And that's because you didn't trade him 2 years ago. And that ties in nicely to the Portland conversation we'll have later. But from Washington's standpoint, they made a big mistake, not with this individual trade, but with like not trading Bradley Beal 2 years ago. Yes. And I get it. It's the new front office, new management. So like they did the best they can do with this situation. And it's a pretty crappy situation. I'm going to give the Wizards a C+. Like, it sucks. But I'm going to give them a C+. I see the vision, though. Like, now you have more cap flexibility long term, and there's a world where, like, they could let Kuz walk. They trade CP to to the Clippers for some expiring contracts. You let Kuz walk. You let KP walk. They can free up some cap space rather easily heading into next summer. So I got a C+ for the Wizards, and I'll end right here on the Suns. I get it. you're replacing, if you're gonna buy all into this 4-star model, 3-star model, and then DeAndre Ayton because he's not a star. If you're gonna buy all into it, you might as well like replace Chris Paul with Bradley Beal. So like fully maximize this window, but they have to win a championship this year or next year. Because Warren, the comparison I've been making is this is very similar to like the Los Angeles Rams, where they kept making trades involving draft pick, kept trading picks, kept pushing that money further down the line, especially after they got Stafford, to where they had a 2 at most 3-year window when they got Stafford. The first year they won the Super Bowl, I thought they were going to be really good last year and be a contender again last year. Injuries and a bunch of other things kind of really hampered that. And the Rams, because it got so bad financially, they kind of threw that third year at the window. And that's essentially what I think the Suns are walking into here, Warren. And please tell me if I'm off base with this analogy or comparison or whatever. But like, you're muted still.
No.
The Suns have a 2-year window because the super tax second apron that's kicking in with this new NBA CBA is about to like screw over a bunch of teams, and the Phoenix Suns are at the top of that hit list. If they win a championship, it's worth it. That's why I still think the Rams, it's worth it because they won a Super Bowl. But the Suns don't win a championship, it's gonna look really, really bad. I think the Suns won the deal just because, like, for value, they got Bradley Beal for nothing essentially, and you replace Chris Paul with Bradley Beal, so that's an automatic win. So I'm gonna give it a B.
Bradley Beal plays point guard for them, right?
Apparently, the rumor is they're gonna have Devin Booker be the one and do it almost like how the Nets did it with James Harden, if that makes sense. When they had Harden, Kyrie, and KD. Yeah. They're going to have Booker play that kind of role.
I think the Wizards made they got off that horrible contract. You were talking the other day about they would have to trade a pick to get off that contract, and then it's essentially what they did with the first round pick swap, right?
So the pick swaps only benefit Washington. So like, let's say there's a year, I think it said 2024, 2026. Okay, let's say in 2026 the Wizards
trade the best pick to the Wizards.
Yeah, so like if the Wizards won 50 games and the Suns win 25 games, the Wizards would swap that pick.
All right, I get it.
Or they would choose to swap that pick at least. They have the option.
Getting off the Bradley Beal contract opens up the future for the Wizards. So you just have to, from this point on, you have to win. You have to win in the draft. Essentially, what they have to do.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to go to Wizards. Nobody wants to go to Washington to play basketball. You haven't won in over a decade. Even when you did have John Wall and Bradley Beal. So this opens up the future for this opens up the rebuild window for the Wizards, and you have to capitalize on the open cap space, and you have to capitalize on young talent and free agency. So if the Wizards do all those things, the East is so weak now. They can win. They can win down the line. I'm not going to say a couple years down the line, 5+ years they can win.
Yeah, I do want to say this. The Wizards finally seem like they're going in the right direction. Like,
they haven't had a direction in years.
Yeah, really, they haven't had a direction since like the last good year of John Wall and Bradley Beal. So 2017, the year they lost to Boston in the second round. Yeah. Like, they haven't had a like clear-cut direction since then. Where like it felt like they were trending up. This was a move that in terms of assets, it was like a meh. But in terms of, we got rid of a negative contract, and we have we're starting to finally get back on the right route, if you will. I think this, again, I'm very indifferent. I don't think nobody like I don't think it was a steal. I'm seeing like a bunch of like, oh, this team got fleeced, this team. No, this was like, I think I had the Suns winning the trade, but like not by a lot. Like, I'm very indifferent on this trade.
At first I said no Aiden in the deal, and then once you like really look at it, yeah, it's a 50-50 trade, maybe a 51-49 trade, where the Suns won a trade just because they want to win now, but it's pretty even for both teams, to be honest.
Yeah.